Yo, bro, I've never seen a movie like Strange Harvest, especially a horror movie, where the entire film is shot like a real life crime doc, but at the same time gives you the vibes of some type of creepy cult alien like murder mystery situation. And it's absolutely insane. What I love about this movie is that it sticks to the bit. It stays the entire time as this crime doc and doesn't stray away from it. The people who sit down in front of the camera to give their testimony about the things that they've experienced, the security footage from hospitals, convenience stores, or even one young lady's computer that was showing her doing a little makeup tutorial. All of the ways that we see the actual antagonist, the killer, the murderer, the crazy person, all that footage that we see is not from any kind of regular camera presentation that we get. It really gives us that feeling of a documentary. And when the movie first started, I was like, oh, wait, I thought this was a horror film. I've actually bought into the documentary style that it was giving. The actors who played the cops in this docuseries, they did a really good job of portraying what you typically see from cops who happen to be on a crime doc. They almost are never happy or celebratory about the crimes that they're talking about because they always feel like they should have or could have done more. Now, when we get into the nitty-gritty of the story, essentially a serial killer from the mid-90s who committed, I want to say 3 or 4 murders in a row, was never caught, was never found. The police who sit in front of the camera tell us about all the things that this killer has done and some of the weirdness surrounding the mystery of the killer. And then that person disappears for almost a decade until they come back and start killing again. And that brings us to an even deeper mystery, because what was that killer doing between those 10 years? And they actually explore that. Now, one of the creepiest things about this killer is actually the mask. The mask is some kind of oblong eye, big eye here, small eye here, weird mouth hole. When you explain, it's like, why is that creepy? When the mask is peeking inside of a window of some teenage girl's room, in the window of a convenience store where some kid is just trying to work, but you see the mask and you know what it represents. Oh my God, this kid is in trouble. When they actually show up and interact with the unfortunate victims, it's brutal. There's stabbings and shootings, and the camera doesn't shy away from it because it's not a movie, it's a docuseries. You're watching the real footage of what happened. The jump scares in this movie don't come from the killer showing up on screen. No, they actually come from actually seeing the results of what he's done. It's not fun, but it's entertaining, which is a really weird thing that we actually need to check out about ourselves, why we're so entertained by these kind of things. But anyway, that's a story for another day. Strange Harvest does a great job of landing the plane too. All of the things that they show throughout the docuseries leading up to the conclusion actually pays off. We get a final confrontation between the killer and the cops that actually has this great mix of realism and supernatural happenstance that stays true to the story that they're telling. There's been a lot of experimental horror movies throughout these past couple years, whether it's following the killer in a violent nature and the ghost in Presence, or most recently the perspective of the dog in Good Boy. Horror is a great place to experiment. Genres should constantly reinvent themselves, and Strange Harvest is one of the winners of that reinvention contest. Do I recommend Strange Harvest? Absolutely. It's one of my favorite horror movies of this year. I cannot believe that this movie is going so under the radar. It deserves to be seen, especially in this great year of horror that we had. There's been some great movies in 2025, but when we look back at this year, we're going to look at horror as this genre that carried the torch throughout the year. Sinners, Weapons, Bringer Back, Companion, and so many more have really made their mark on this year. And I'm going to do my part in letting you guys know that Strange Harvest is another horror movie that you guys should check out. What's your favorite horror movie of the year? Is it Sinners? Is it Weapons? Is it Bringer Back? Is it Companion? Or is it something else? Is it Shelby Oaks that Chris Stuckman just dropped? Let me know in the comments what you think about Strange Harvest, and I'll talk to you guys next time.